everyone. I'm Michelle Alva, and I am super excited today to have a special guest who I recently met just by the grace of our creator. I started to look into permaculture and wanting to do more for the earth because I saw a movie, Kiss the Ground, and I've been learning more about what's the truth happening in the world and how we haven't really planned ahead how to nurture Mother Earth. And so today I'm so excited to have Tina Kompostina, who is an amazing queen of permaculture. She's also an eco-artivist, and she's here to share her gifts. So everyone just tune in, grab a tea, have a seat, and we're gonna learn a lot about how we can support our precious Mother Earth. So tell us more about yourself, Kompostina, and thank you for being here today.
Thanks so much for having me. It's been so nice, such a great synchronicity to meet you, Michelle. We met through a common friend who said that we actually absolutely have to meet, and it's absolutely true. My name is Tina Limberis, and my artistic name is Kompostina. Now, that came from, well, actually when I started my journey in permaculture here in Greece quite a few years ago, about 10 years ago, when I was very passionately showing someone how to compost. And she said, "You're not Tina, you're Kompostina." And I said, "I'm going to use that someday." And this is what I'm really good at. I'm actually really good at synthesizing information, right? So throughout my journey, I started writing compositions, so rhymes. And then someone actually heard this and was like, "Oh, you're a composing composter." And I went, "That's brilliant," because I was trying to figure out how do I translate it from Greek, because in Greek, kompostopiitria actually has the word poetry in it, which is a composter. So it's very funny because the poetry, pio, means to make. So I'm either the composing composter, Kompostina, or the composting composer, Kompostina.
You are also a poet. You know, you have so many different gifts and talents. It's amazing how creative you are. Just like the earth, you know, and the plants and are so creative. You're very much an expression of nature and earth. And yeah.
That's such a really nice perspective, actually. I hadn't thought about it that way, but yeah, exactly. Like when you look at flowers, for example, like the passion flower, which is one of my absolute favorites. When I first saw it, I was in absolute awe of the intricacy of this design, of how complicated it was and how many different levels it had and how many different colors. I was just completely blown away. I couldn't stop looking at it. I drew it. I photographed it. I breathed it in. I smelt it. Like I completely became one. And, you know, now that you said that, that's what an eco-artivist is. Someone who's in their full expression knows that we're inherently all artists. We all know that we're artists. And what we're essentially doing, whether this art form takes the form of what we understand as creative expression, which could be drawing, singing, writing, whatever, or whether it is weaving the tapestry of life and designing a life where you're living life as an art, and for the earth, you're doing your part. This is truly what I stand for. How can we take personal responsibility for designing the lives of our dreams, whilst caring for ourselves, whilst caring for each other, and whilst caring for the earth? Because all of those, for me, are inextricably linked.
We can envision a world where can you imagine a world where each one of us takes responsibility for how we throw away our food or waste. I know that there's more conscious ways we can be. Can you share with us why, especially right now, this time on the earth, it is especially being called forth, not to just let it slide, but there is a time crunch here in the earth. Can you share a little bit about what were the problems that caused you to even more want to share your art, help awaken us, and to the point where you created a challenge for us.
The biggest why is because this is what I felt innately called to do. This is what excited me the most. I couldn't think of a single other thing that I would be rather doing right now than this. So it was just like, it's like the, you know, like the spotlight, the path was illuminated. I have no choice. This is what I'm called to do.
You just thought it up, because for me, I have to say, watching those movies about what's really going on the planet, they really motivated me to seek out. So for you, this is what I'm doing.
It was an intrinsic calling. Like I didn't know anything about this stuff when I decided to get into it. But as soon as I heard about permaculture, it just went ding, 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 ding. Everything lit up. And I went, that's it. That's what I've been looking for my whole life. Why didn't I hear about this before? Where have you been my whole life?
Can you share what permaculture means, just for the people that may not know? Like the cliff notes.
Yes.
Culture.
Yes, I can. And I also want to answer to something that you mentioned before about waste. So permaculture comes from the words permanent and agriculture originally. And through the years, it came to mean permanent culture. So in the beginning, it was how can we design ecosystems and agricultural systems that can last the course of their time, like they can keep going forever and ever, because they realized that, or we realized that these practices of, you know, commercial tilling and large scale farming and all of that was causing a lot of damage, which was irreparable. Like it wasn't the earth wasn't sort of springing back to its original form. And then all of this came to take on the meaning of a permanent culture, because you can't just be looking at how to fix the earth if you're not well. And I have a really strong sense that the problems that we're facing in this world right now have to do with the fact that we are completely disconnected from nature, which is our nature. For many reasons, like even just yesterday when I went into the city to do something, I came back with a massive headache. Not a headache. I was exhausted. I couldn't actually stand up. I had to go to sleep. And I realized that in my walk, as I was walking around, I felt disconnected. Like all of the cement stops the Earth's energy field from connecting with us, right? And that I actually literally felt like I wasn't plugged in. Like I didn't have an energy source. So we're walking around like zombies thinking and trying to overcompensate for something, not really knowing what, when in fact, for me, and what I found through my observation, and that's what permaculture is based on, observing what's happening, to realize that I need to be connected with the earth. Like now I go for walks to the beach and I take my shoes off. I walk barefoot on the farm because I heard, and I'll get to your question about what permaculture is, but we're getting to this through understanding our connection, because that's what it is. It's really understanding that we're an interdependent element with the earth. We're not separate from it, and that everything that we do, everything that we think, everything that we say, everything that we do has an impact on what happens in the earth. What I'm about to tell you completely shifted, actually not shifted, advanced my understanding of why I do what I do. I read Anastasia. I don't know if you've heard about her. She's Anastasia of Siberia. Now, she might be fictitious, she might be real. She's a shaman who lives in the forest in Siberia. And someone actually went there and wrote her story. And one thing that she said and really stuck with me is that it's really important for us to walk barefoot in our garden, because we release toxins from the bottom of our feet. Those toxins and that information travels through the ground, and the plants can actually read this information and produce what it is that we need in order to be healthy. And this, for me, is the epitome of permaculture. We're creating closed loop systems where we produce what we need and we use what we produce. So we create a cycle. We create what we call regenerative ecosystems, systems that are able to regenerate on their own. And this doesn't apply just to the earth. It applies to us as well. Like, how can I create a system that regenerates me? How do I regenerate myself? What makes me feel good? What gives me energy? Right? How do I extend this into my social circle? How do I extend this into my part for the earth? And I want to answer now your comment about waste. It's not about reducing our waste. It's about reducing our consumption. It's about identifying what are our true fundamental needs that we have. And that, once we really tune into that, we won't need to do waste management, because we're doing energy management.
So it's about not eating 3 croissants. It's about maybe just one, right? You know, I'm in the United States and 2/3 of our population is obese. 2/3. So there's this overconsumption that we're actually out of alignment with nature, is what you're telling us. Nature doesn't overconsume. Nature is this refined instrument that is intuitive and creating, depending on who's walking on that earth and the cows that are grazing. And it's only gonna, it's like a subtle, magical sensoring. There's so much sensitivity in nature that we completely have not even acknowledged, it sounds like, and have
self-balancing.
We would have never created cement floors. We would have created earth-rich floors to walk on. I mean, technically the earth, you know, the roads, maybe we would have created different kind of roads with the awareness of permaculture, with the awareness of maybe we will start to design different types of roads.
Roads that breathe.
Roads that breathe.
Breathe. I miss my breath in the city. I can't breathe. Shoes that breathe. Shoes that don't insulate you from the connection.
This is what the Eco-Artivist is right now, happening live in this interview. We are creating solutions because of our intuition being available to us. We're both very connected to nature. I live on an island in South Florida, and there's a lot of nature here. And I have done so much clearing in my life of the not natural in me that I wish to live here. I'm being drawn to move to be here. And that's what I'm sensing, that maybe there's this, we have gone so out of nature alignment that we're being brought back through your programs. You are, to me, on this earth, one of those people that are so important that I reached out to you and I asked you if I could interview you, because people, this is the information that I really feel if we're gonna make it on this next, 50 years, 100 years, we are being called to shift how we have been creating every single day. And so can you tell us a little bit, maybe 5 things people can walk away today, but maybe 3 things. But of course, everyone, please go down and click on the link, because there's a link to join her challenge that is going to start.
It's 1 hour on the 12th of February and 1 hour on the 13th of February. It's a free event. It's a challenge just to get a sense of what this is all about. And whether people think that, okay, yeah, this is it, because
it's not your classic permaculture design course, because there's a permaculture design course for that. This is everything that I wish I had learnt at school. This is about understanding ourselves. This is about tuning in to our true technology and redefining what technology means. Because someone said to me today, oh, but the word technology doesn't really make... And I said, yeah, that's because we think that this is technology, or the camera is technology, or the internet's technology. No, technology is in understanding who we truly are. Technology is knowing that we are spirit and that we can actually weave infinite possibilities into our reality. And we don't have to wait for anybody else to do that. We have the power to do that ourselves. The governments clearly aren't going to do that. And that's one of the major problems we're facing right now. We're having a systems collapse, and what can we do about it? Because we don't know. We have not been trained for any of this. And as I say in one of my other videos, this isn't to scare you. This is to prepare you.
We haven't been taught how to
Nothing.
That intuition of
We
ours.
haven't been taught.
No, that's the same intuition that called me internally permaculture, to find a permaculture class. My meditation, and I'm being called to also get land and I think it's going to be in Europe and America, and have a Tantra farm, have a farm, a retreat center, a place where people permaculture, and maybe even a school for children to learn about how to be outside in school, how not to be just sitting at a desk, so we get to design and create, and trust me, everyone, the more you be outside in nature, nature will speak to you. The beach, I was at the beach when I got that message, and I just want to dedicate my life, the rest of my life, to teaching people how to come back to nature, how to come back to the nature inside. And look, I met this amazing goddess. They're super fun, and I know we're going to be doing retreats together. I'm going to be coming to Greece and wherever you are, and bringing my Americans. This is how it works, everyone. Just be in that stillness in nature, and nature will feed you. Nature will guide you. It's not just in your mind. Trust me, everyone. I am so emotional right now. I didn't know this was going to happen. I'm having all these heartgasms. I love you. I love you. I hope you can feel me.
I do.
Everyone, you guys just click down below, join that challenge that starts soon, and know that if you can't make it to the challenge, can you tell us about your awesome upcoming online course?
Yeah, that starts on the 2nd of March. I'm only going to be taking like a select few students. It's the first time that I'm going to run this online. I have been doing this really successfully live, and I realized that I was actually a bit hesitant at first. How can I possibly transmit this energy online? But I've actually had feedback, people telling me, your energy bounces off the screens. And I'm like, yeah, baby. We don't get confined by screens. So I'm going to actually respond to your question about what we can do, like some steps that we can take right now. And this is actually part of the challenge. Actually, the first challenge, that if we get people signing up from the US, that they will have to get up really early in the morning to follow the 2-day challenge. So they'll have to, I think it's like 6 a.m. your time, but I had to find like a time that's going to be for the UK, for here in Greece, and for Australia. So that was the best time I could find. Now, the things that, first of all, I wanted to say, I think we got the impression, what's an eco-artivist, right? It's someone who lives, thinks, feels, breathes, and brings the new story of our new earth into reality, into existence. So how do we do this? This is the core of what I'm doing through the Eco-Artivist. It's a fantastic fusion. Remember what I said in the beginning? I'm a fantastic synthesizer. I'm a fantastic composer. And this is actually another thing. I used to think that saying something like this about myself was like bragging and I shouldn't be doing it. But it's no, I'm owning that this is what I'm good at. I am super good at composing and synthesizing information. So all of these years that I've been studying, I've realized, okay, what are the key things that I really want to learn? Because studying about permaculture wasn't enough for me, because it didn't give me the tools of how to communicate with people. It didn't give me the tools how to understand myself. So then I proceeded to study nonviolent communication, which I call compassionate communication. And that's great. Now I can express myself and take full responsibility for my emotions. Next, how do I collaborate with people? Then I studied and got my diploma as a sociocratic facilitator. So I know how to conduct meetings where everybody's heard and set up structures where we understand how we can actually work together. So yes, I do see us working together and doing some stuff. Kompostina, as a land-based project, it has many elements. So it delivers training, which is the Eco-Artivist, but as a land-based project, I had the inspiration to call it a magical school of the earthly arts, right? So, we get there and we're doing everything artistic because that's the difference. It's not just a straight out permaculture thing. We infuse the arts, and that's why it's called the Eco-Artivist. Plus, we infuse activism. We're doing stuff, like even my videos, my rhymes, everything. Anything that boosts our ecology and our psychology, because those are so interconnected, we cannot separate them. They're one. So we have to be working on our psychology at the same time as our ecology. So what we can do, use your creativity every day, whatever it is. It could be creative in the way that you walk. It could be creative in the way that you sing, in the write, or the way that you do something, the way that you express yourself. Creativity, what does it mean, right? Do what excites you every day. Don't just go do something because you have to. Do things because you want to. Trust your heart. Trust your heart. That's it. That's all we can do. And know that when you're doing this, you're not only doing it for yourself, you're setting an example for everybody else. Like, you're contributing to the field, to the collective field, and making a stand for saying, like, this is how I want to be and this is how I express myself. And when you do this and you stand strong in your power, there is no space for anything else to come in that you don't want. And this just keeps expanding and expanding and expanding. So when I meet you, we join, we become bigger. And when we meet others, it just becomes bigger and bigger until it takes up the entire space. And we shine our light so bright that the darkness cannot hide.
It collapses.
There's no darkness anymore.
What happens in the healing sessions with the Alva method, there's so much love. We amplify oxytocin, the love hormone. So shame just evaporates. Guilt evaporates.
There's no space.
Sabotage. And I literally am watching people. It's like in The Wizard of Oz when they throw water on the witch, the green witch, and she goes, I'm melting. And she just disappears. We could just focus on permaculture, eco-artivism, sharing, creating, collaborating. I highly recommend people share this video with as many people as you can, even people just learning about this frequency that we're in, being aligned with our nature. We both are living our dream lives. We are on purpose, and we are sovereign women, sovereign goddesses that are juicy and alive. Yeah. And so this frequency is talking to your eco-artivist in yourself. It's in you. We have just been programmed to suppress so much in this world, our creativity, being programmed in school to sit in a desk, especially recently, wearing things, we've been, and so it's time to just get out in nature, run out in nature, get naked outside if you can, if you have a backyard, and just reconnect to the dirt,
So some people go, oh, this is like the hippie lifestyle. And I go, thanks. Because hippie stands for highly intelligent person pursuing inner enlightenment.
You're awesome.
I just love having fun, and I find the fun, and that's what I'm really good at doing. Like when I've got a group of people, I'm able to tune in to what it is that will make them have the best time. And when you're having a really good time, that's when you learn, right? That's when it goes into your cells, the knowledge and the understanding. You remember that this is our natural state. So that's the whole aim of this eco-artivist. It's to get into and remain in this natural state where we're supporting each other and helping each other stay up and get up and up and up and expand and expand and expand until you can fly.
So can you share with us how people can get in touch with you? Thank you so much for this awesome time that we have had together to get a little dose of the Kompostina magic. And all the links for contacting Tina Kompostina are down below. And is there any other things that I missed that for getting in touch with you? Closing messages.
Take deep breaths. Anytime you feel confused, stressed, angry, or sad, breathing is the first thing you can do. Breath means inspiration, so you get information that will help you reach a new breakthrough.
And reach out to Kompostina to learn how to do your composting, to learn how to be an eco-artivist. Join us for the challenge. I'm already registered. I can't wait to see you all there. Thank you for your gifts.
Yeah.
Thank you for shining, and may we envision a beautiful earth that is smiling, so abundant, permaculture everywhere, growing abundantly, and the earth is actually thanking us for being so considerate to ourselves and to Gaia, to earth.
And that is the best way we can help the earth, by caring for ourselves. Aho.
Thank you.
I love you. I love you all. Thank you.
Comment down below, everyone. Let us know what came up for you. It's been a beautiful journey, and I can't wait to see you at the challenge.
Yeah, likewise. Come along. Let's party.
Let's have fun. Like, I literally just want to dedicate my life to Tantra and permaculture.
Yes, me too. Me too.
No, you're my lifer. I love you. Bye.
Bye.